Hello, this is Kimberly Cohen with Exec Edge, powered by Uniqua AI. So, this is the Uniqua AI show, sort of the podcast where unique insights meet real world AI and business insights. Each week, we break down all sorts of technology and different smart systems within different verticals into practical tips you can use in your work, your business, and your everyday life. So, today I have Mary Lester joining us and Mary's going to tell us a little bit about her business, her background, and sort of what's brought her to what she's doing today. And then we'll take a forward look what looks good to her for 2026. So, welcome to the show today, Mary. Really appreciate you being here.
Thank you, Kimberly, for the opportunity. Glad to
Of
be here.
course. Great. Well, I appreciate it. So, tell me a little bit about what brought you to what you're doing today, and tell me a little bit about what you are doing today.
Well, my name's Mary Lester, and I am the CEO and founder of 19 State Group. We're here in Indianapolis, Indiana, and we've been in business for about a year and a half to 2 years right now. We specifically niche for people who are in the science industry, specifically in the laboratory setting, companies that are biotech as well as clinical laboratory. My background is in medical technology, attended Ball State University in Muncie, Indiana, Oak Cards, and there I received my undergraduate degree in biology with a chemistry minor. But I also did some more extensive studying as a medical technologist, where I received my degree in that as well. And from there, I continued my professional career as a medical technologist for some area hospitals and also stretching into the biotech industry, working for companies like Thermo Fisher as well as LabCorp. So, as that, my journey brings me to being in staffing and recruiting. And so just decided to branch out, be an entrepreneur, and help those who have helped me as in terms of being a med tech. So that is where our niche is, being finding medical technologists as well as scientists, as well as phlebotomists and medical assistants. All those in campus are company and industry, and really excited to meet all people from all over the country, really, and as well as clients, as well as candidates.
Fabulous. Yeah, I think we were sharing before we got onto this call that my daughter is at Texas A&M University, and
Yes.
she wants to do medical device sales, but she has a lot of biomedical science. I think they call it biomes, bio something like that. I don't know. That are folks that are graduating this year. So, what kind of advice do you have for new graduates?
My advice for new graduates would be never stop learning. You never stop growing, had it be in your industry, outside your industry. Always look for opportunities to learn and grow. As 30 years in the science industry myself, there's always something new. There's always something around the corner. You can always learn or adjust, always be up on current trends of what your industry is doing. It is crucial to know that you will get left behind. People are going to be sharper than you and better than you that are coming down the pipe, and you have to stay on top of the main business of what your industry is doing and where it's going. Had it be scientifically, politically, locally, nationally, be on top of learning and growing and sharpening your craft.
Absolutely. And in terms of, and I guess staying with those new graduates, assuming that they have a couple of internships under their belts, what is
Mhm.
some sort of real world advice for them applying? Would you suggest that they reach out to a staffing company like yours, or should they go it alone on LinkedIn and Indeed, or I guess a mix of all of those things? And what other sort of job searching helpful hints can you give for new graduates?
Uh, I'd say the most important thing is to keep your options open, right? Keep your options open. So use the staffing company as a tool. So when you're not trying to find a job, they're helping you find that job too. So you can help yourself do it as well as the staffing company. Just use the staffing as a leverage. They're not your sole purpose for your bread and butter per se, but at least maybe they can find other opportunities for you out there that you couldn't do yourself or you have time to do yourself. So that would be my
Yeah,
main advice. I'd say my second advice is make sure that you have a very sharp LinkedIn professional profile. Make sure that you have a very sharp resume, even though you don't have a lot in terms of if you're a new graduate coming out of school. No, you don't have that experience under your belt just yet, and you're looking for it, but make sure that you can at least make your resume the sharpest it can look. And the most important thing is just to get out there, talk, network with other people, and who do they know that you don't know? So that's important. Don't be shamed that you don't have a job. Hey, you're not the only one that don't have one. It's okay, but get out there and network. Most likely your next job or your next will come from somebody who you know or somebody who knows somebody. So that's just the
mhm,
important element. Uh, to to getting that next step going when you're new and upcoming.
sure. Yeah, that makes sense. And then what is that saying? I think it is there your network is your net worth.
Yes,
And that can
exactly.
definitely be true. Yeah. Yeah, for sure. I definitely imparted that advice onto my daughter's college friends and to my daughter as well. And a lot of them are coming for advice now. So I'm gonna take what you said to heart and give that to them. And I know, overall, we've seen job market numbers and things like that definitely decline as far as new hires, new opportunities. There's tons of layoffs. The job market is definitely volatile at best, I guess
Yes.
to say it nicely. Um, what about for more tenured people that have, more, I guess, that have more skills, have more background and things like that? What kind of
Mhm.
encouragement can you give for that are job seeking in this sort of volatile and strange environment that we're having at the moment?
Think the most important thing is to be patient. If you are really aggressively seeking something or you really need something like yesterday, it's still important to be patient out there. That something will come up, something will open up for you. Sometimes it's just getting your foot in the door and you gotta be a little bit more humble, but I think if you just continue to be patient enough and hard, once again, those networks that in those relationships that you've built up, it's important to go back and reach out or reach back to some previous, jobs that maybe your other colleagues have moved on to other,
Right.
companies, and it's important to kind
Yeah.
of, rekindle those relationships as well as go back to those relationships that you once had or have now, but it's important to be very patient. in this industry and to have faith. Something will open up for you. Something you just got to believe, you know, the universe is in your favor.
Yep. Yeah, we talk about that a lot, sort of
Yes.
behind the scenes at our house to keep a really
Yes.
positive attitude, and with that, thoughts become words, words become actions, and it
Yes.
it really seems to work. My yoga teachers say that a lot, and so we hear that in our minds about 3 times a week when we go to our yoga classes, and that just kind of
Yes.
perpetuates that mentality
Yes.
to keep moving forward, so I'm with you, appreciate that. So tell me more about, I mean, you told me sort of how you came to doing what you're doing currently. What are your focuses now that you're particularly looking for in the industry?
Focus now is that we are looking for small to mid-sized companies that really need medical technologists and scientists. We are really aggressively putting ourselves out there to meet those hiring managers, those clinical laboratory managers and supervisors and directors. And so that is what we're looking for. We're always trying to build our candidate base for very sharp and intelligent and really the best of the best. And we do that through our questionnaires and when we do a brief profile of our candidates as well as our clients so that we make sure that we get a good fit with the client, with the company. So that is
Sure.
what we're really focusing on now, just making sure that we got clients and signing those contracts to make sure that we can fill those positions that the company has.
Right. And how are you looking for those clients at the moment? Is it a mix of, people in your network, like you talked about? Are you using technology? Any AI tools, maybe?
Yeah, we're doing a different level of different things. The first thing we use is LinkedIn and just doing some cold out, you know, brief little emails to everybody. Hey, just giving them questions to make them think so they can respond.
Right.
And once they respond back,
Yeah.
then we can open up that conversation. We can open up that relationship and get that relationship going. Another avenue we do is just cold emails. We do cold calls. We are bread and butter here. So those are some of a couple ways. We are doing some AI um, platforms as well, and just kind of filtering or honing in on our client database for biotech companies and laboratories per se, and reaching out to those managers. So we do have that going in our favor. And once again, all this takes time to do, to build, and to tinker what's going good, what's going not so well, and trying to tinker it to leverage it in our favor. So those are our
Sure.
things.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's great. I think the more that I'm talking to, leaders and founders of recruiting staffing companies, the more that they're open to, well, it's an extremely relationship based business. They are
Hmm.
definitely open to, motions that, where technology can help. So what are you
Yeah, I
seeing
think
as
that the
far
main
as
thing there, just to add to that, Kimberly, is that a lot of times when we look at staffing and recruiting, we're looking at, oh, does this person match the experience that the company's looking for? But more importantly, in order to bridge that avenue, we need a relationship with that company to understand their needs, their wants, to understand their pain points. And that's very important too. to understand the counterpart and for them to understand where we are as well as a company.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. Like you have to figure out where you're going to provide the most value to them by giving them the candidates that they actually need, versus who
Exactly,
you think they might
exactly.
need, like barrage of resumes to go through that might not be relevant.
Right, exactly, exactly. And I think
Yeah.
the other
We
thing
we
about
love
that is that it does save the company time and effort as well. Understanding that, hey, we can do those big things as well as those small things for you. So, yeah, we
right.
can hone in on the exact type of candidate you want versus maybe a computer system, you know, doing that for you, but there's no human factor
Right.
attached to it.
Right, of course.
We
And
provide that human.
sure, yeah, that makes sense. And remind me, are you placing people for permanent positions or is it temporary and permanent?
Yes, we do both. We do permanent and we do temp to hire and we do temps. So we do it all.
Yeah, I know you mentioned phlebotomists. I know that can something, and that's a huge value to a company in that they can sort of try before they actually commit to a hire. Then they have to go through all the paperwork and things like that. So I'm sure that provides a lot of value to your clients to not have to go through that whole thing and then, possibly there isn't a fit. Hopefully it always is, but we can't be
Yeah.
100% all the time.
Yes,
And that
that's
gives
definitely
probably some good
true.
reassurance.
Yes, that's definitely true. And it's a
Yeah.
win-win situation for both parties. So if the candidate's like, I'm not feeling this job, find me something else, we can do that as well
Yeah.
as the company or the client saying, you know, this person's okay, but, so yeah, it's a win-win. It's a
Yeah.
win-win for both.
Yeah. So tell me about a really interesting, some sort of like sort of funny or interesting position that you filled that that really jumps out at you.
Hmm, that's a good question. Uh, I think there was one, it wasn't necessarily a feel, but it was a phone screen of a candidate. She, we hear when we do our phone screens, we do hear a lot of the conditions or situations that that candidate is in at the time. And sometimes
Oh,
the candidate is very, I wouldn't say, I wouldn't even say this was funny, but uh, sh- she felt like she was really down on her luck. And so sometimes you just have to be that cheerleader to say, hey, keep going.
wonderful. And so thank you so much for letting us know what you're doing at 19 State. And I really appreciate the time today. I wish you the best of luck with your goals and with what you're doing over there and with your candidates and of course all the new clients that you're going to acquire over the next year. So that's it today for Exec Edge, powered by Uniqua AI. Mary, again, really appreciate your time, and we'll talk soon.